Have you ever shelled out a wad of cash for some fancy tree treatment, hoping to give your trees a new lease on life, only to see, well, not much change at all?
It's a pretty common experience, unfortunately.
And it got us thinking here at the deep dive, how much of what's being sold to us, for tree care is actually backed up by real science?
Right, because those trees, they're not just pretty to look at. They add real value to your property,
Uh,
help the environment. I mean, for a lot of people, they have a real emotional connection to those trees.
Absolutely. So we decided to dig deep into this. We found some recent research, really eye-opening stuff, where they took 37 of the most popular tree treatments sold right here in South Africa and put them through rigorous independent lab tests.
A real deep dive into what's actually in these products and what they really do or don't do.
Exactly. And the results were, well, pretty shocking.
Shocking is one way to put it.
A whopping 82% of these products were either totally useless or even worse, potentially harmful to your trees.
Yeah, we're talking about stuff that could actually hurt the very trees you're trying to help.
So today, we're going to break it all down for you. We're going to cut through the marketing hype, expose what really works and what doesn't, and give you the knowledge you need to make smart decisions about taking care of your trees.
Arming you with the facts so you don't waste your money and, more importantly, so you can keep your trees healthy and thriving.
Right on. So let's start by understanding the game, right? How do these companies get away with selling stuff that doesn't work?
Well, there are a few common tactics, a kind of playbook they use. It plays on our psychology a little bit. We want that quick fix. We're impressed by scientific-sounding stuff.
And we trust people we see as experts or authorities.
Exactly. So tactic number one, Latin names. You see them all over product labels, these long, complicated terms. They're meant to sound impressive, like some cutting-edge science.
Like you need a PhD to even understand what's in the bottle.
Right. But often, these names are either for really common ingredients or they're used in a way that's just plain wrong, scientifically speaking.
It's like smoke and mirrors, using jargon to confuse us instead of actually informing us.
Then, you got your before and after photos, the classic visual trick. A sad, wilting tree suddenly bursting with life. Problem is, there's usually no way to verify if those photos are even real.
Or if it's even the same tree in both photos.
Exactly. They prey on our desire to see results, especially when we're dealing with struggling trees ourselves.
And then there's the influencer marketing. These days, everyone's an expert, right?
So true. Companies pay these influencers, folks with huge followings, to endorse their products. But these influencers often have no real expertise in, trees or horticulture.
Yeah. Just because someone's popular on social media doesn't make them a tree expert.
Right, but people trust them, so their endorsement carries a lot of weight, even if the advice they're giving is, well, questionable.
It's like borrowed credibility, and it can be incredibly misleading. And what really gets me is the scale of this. It's not just a few bad apples,
Well, no, it's way bigger than that. The research we looked at found one product, basically the same formula, being sold under 12 different brand names.
12. Talk about deceptive marketing. It's the same stuff, just repackaged with different labels and claims, creating this illusion of choice.
So to get past all the marketing hype, they had to use some serious science.
Right. Let's get into how they actually tested those 37 tree treatments.
So first things first, anonymity. They bought the products, just like you or I would, straight from nurseries across the country. No special favors, no warning to the manufacturers.
A real level playing field.
Exactly. Then they got down to the molecular level using gas chromatography to analyze the exact chemical makeup of each product.
So they could see what was really in there, beyond the fancy labels and marketing claims.
Absolutely. And the final step was testing absorption. They mixed UV dye markers into the treatments and applied them to tree bark samples. Then they used UV light to track how well, or how poorly, the product actually penetrated the tree.
Makes sense. If a product can't even get into the tree, it's not going to do much good, right?
Exactly. So let's talk about some of the products that ended up in the, shall we say, Hall of Shame.
Lay it on us.
Well, there was one called Tree Life Pro, a name that certainly suggests vitality and growth, but when they analyzed it, guess what? 0% active ingredients.
Zero. You're kidding.
It was basically just filler,
Yeah.
absolutely no benefit to a tree whatsoever.
Like selling snake oil, but for trees.
Then there was Fungal Be Gone. Sounds like it should be tackling those pesky fungi, right?
Sounds like a lifesaver for a tree with a fungal problem.
But the main ingredient, bleach.
You're kidding.
Bleach!
straight up.
Huh.
Now, bleach can sanitize things, but it's way too harsh for living trees. It can damage the bark, disrupt the tree's natural processes, and potentially cause more harm than good. So you try to solve one problem, and you end up creating a bigger one. Yikes.
And then we have root blast gold, with its promises of explosive root growth. Turns out it was just plain old liquid fertilizer.
Nothing special.
Nope. The kind you can buy anywhere for a lot less money. Just basic fertilizer, dressed up with fancy marketing to make you think it's something unique.
Really makes you think twice about what you're buying, doesn't it?
It certainly does. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Some products actually did show promise.
Oh, thank goodness. So tell us, what actually works?
Well, certain formulations of mycorrhizal fungi blends performed really well.
Those are the beneficial fungi that help roots absorb water and nutrients, right?
That's right. But it has to be the right blend, specific strains and concentrations that are proven to colonize the roots and actually improve the tree's health.
So it's not just about having any old mycorrhizal fungi in there. It has to be the right stuff, formulated the right way.
Exactly. And biochar, certain types of it, also showed some real benefits.
Biochar, that's like charcoal made from organic matter.
Right. Exactly. The good ones improved soil structure, which helps retain water and make nutrients more available to the roots. Again, it's about the specific type of biochar and how it's made.
So not just any charcoal will do the trick.
Nope. And then there are professional-grade trunk injections. These are administered by certified arborists directly into the tree's vascular system.
So it's like a targeted treatment that goes right to where it's needed.
Precisely. But these are not DIY solutions. You need a professional for these.
Okay, so for the average homeowner, what are some simple, affordable things we can do ourselves to keep our trees healthy?
There are some great DIY options that actually work based on good horticultural practices. A simple mix of baking soda and neem oil makes an effective antifungal spray.
Baking soda and neem oil. I probably have those in my pantry right now.
You probably do. The baking soda helps create an environment that fungi don't like, and neem oil has natural fungicidal and insecticidal properties.
Sounds like a winning combo. What about for boosting soil nutrients?
Banana peel tea. Just soak banana peels in water for a few days, then use that water to water your plants.
No way, that's amazing.
Banana peels are full of potassium and other good stuff that plants need.
So less waste and healthier trees. Love it. What about pests?
For a natural pest repellent, try a garlic and chili infusion. Soak crushed garlic cloves and chili flakes in water, strain it, and use that to deter insects.
So I can keep those pesky bugs away and make my garden smell like an Italian restaurant.
Pretty much. Just be careful not to spray it in direct sunlight.
Okay.
Could burn the leaves.
Got it. Now, you mentioned that the lab used some pretty high-tech methods like gas chromatography and UV dyes to test these treatments. Are there other scientific ways to really know if a tree is healthy and if a treatment is working beyond just looking at it?
Oh, definitely. There's dendrochronology, for example. It's basically the study of tree rings.
Like counting the rings to tell how old a tree is.
More than that, actually. You can analyze the rings to see how fast a tree has grown over time, and that can tell you about its health, if it went through periods of stress, or if a particular treatment had a positive effect.
Like reading a tree's diary.
Exactly. Then there's soil microbial activity. A healthy soil is teeming with beneficial microorganisms, bacteria and fungi, that help break down organic matter, cycle nutrients, and even fight off diseases.
It's like a whole underground ecosystem supporting the tree.
Exactly. And scientists can analyze soil samples to see how active and diverse those microbial communities are.
So healthy soil, healthy tree.
Absolutely. And then there are techniques using isotopes, which are basically like tracers, to track how a tree is absorbing nutrients.
So you can actually see if a treatment is helping the tree take up the nutrients it needs.
Exactly. It all comes down to hard data, measurable results, real science, not just marketing hype.
Right. So it's clear that when it comes to tree care, you can't just take a label's word for it. What's the main thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
Be skeptical. Be informed. Don't just fall for the marketing. Do your research.
Don't let those trees become another statistic, right?
Exactly. We've got to protect our trees. They're too valuable.
So what can our listeners do right now to make sure they're making smart choices for their trees?
Well, we put together what we're calling our urgent offer. It's a package of resources to help you navigate all this.
Tell us more about this urgent offer.
First up, we have a free product verification service. If you're not sure about a product, send us the details, and we'll give you the lowdown based on the science.
Like a fact check for tree treatments.
Exactly. Then, we have a certified effective products list. These are products that have been scientifically proven to work. No guesswork involved.
A shortcut to finding the good stuff. And what's the third part of the offer?
We're offering a personalized tree care plan. We'll take into account your specific type of tree, its location, any problems it might have, and give you tailored advice on how to care for it.
So a custom plan for your trees. That's fantastic. How can our listeners get access to all of this?
Text the keyword "Real Cure" to a specific number, and we'll send you all the details.
Real cure. Easy enough. This is such valuable information. Makes you realize that, these miracle cures and misleading marketing tactics, they're everywhere, not just in the tree care industry.
Oh, absolutely. It's important to be aware of that in all aspects of our lives.
Right. Whether it's health products or anything else, we've got to be critical thinkers, do our research, and make informed decisions.
Would agree more.
Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into something else that's impacting your world.
See you then.